Good afternoon, everybody. I've kept you waiting long enough for Mission 17, so let's jump right into it. If you recall, last time a new set of abduction missions popped up, so today we're heading into Australia. I believe the panic won't crop up too high if we go to China instead, but with Australia at 3 out of 5 and no satellites or uplinks in reserve to get the panic back down, I figured better to nip it in the bud right now. Quick swap out of our heavy for our assault, and be sure to give everybody the better plasma rifles, and we can get started here. The good news is, with the heavier plasma rifles in use, we're kind of hitting that tipping point in the late game where pretty much nothing can stop us until we get to the final mission. So it's pretty much going to be a straight sprint to the end from here on out.
Our next drop site. We're still seeing dozens of reported abduction attempts coming in from cities around the world. You'll be deploying at the site of the latest report.
This is Big Sky. Strike team has reached the AO. Requesting authorization to deploy.
Solid copy, Big Sky. Strike 1 is cleared to engage.
Alright, sorry for the cut there, but I had to pause the game for a couple minutes. So we're in a train yard. It's, as you can tell, it's not too wide on either side. It's a lot more of a narrower straight shot with some extra space up there to the top left as opposed to the bottom right. As you can see, we're right up against that barbed wire fence. And the good news is Cyanox spots the meld right off the bat, so we're just going to head up there, grab it, and then start making our way kind of up to like the northwest area, but I think that's where most of the pods will be. And with only 3 turns on that meld, then I know that this isn't really a very big map, so everything will be a little bit clustered, which means I'm probably going to have to deal with more than one pod at the same time, at least once during this mission, so we'll see what crops up as we move forward. Keeping the sniper in the back with a squad sight, he'll be able to pick off anything that shows up over here, and we'll just send Amp a little bit further ahead than Duran, see what we can find out up here. Alright, nothing too crazy just yet, although I'm kind of unwilling to send my mech right up to the meld canister right now. I don't know what's lurking on the other side of that building. So for now, we'll just play the waiting game back here around these canisters and the abduction device and go from there. And looks like that was a good idea. A couple of Seekers come on by and they both pop into stealth mode right away. The good news is, even though I still don't have any stupid respiratory implants, thanks to the Titan armor, I have no need for them. They cannot strangle my soldiers any longer. And the only other thing they have is like a weak little plasma shot. I think it does even less damage than a sectoid's plasma pistol, so I'm not too worried. It's just going to be a pain in the ass because now they're cloaked, and yeah, chasing them down is going to be a bitch if they're not going to want to uncloak to strangle anybody. So it's just going to be a matter of heading up there and see if I can convince any of them to decloak and then just pick it off. If I stay behind the shed here, I should be safe from anything up in the train yard to the northwest, at least for now, unless something decides to patrol on by. So with the meld secure, there shouldn't be anything too crazy left on this side. Just the Seekers, and everything else is probably up among those tanker cars over there in the train yard proper. And I actually forget one of my assaults has the Bioelectric Skin Gmod on, so she actually forces the Seekers to decloak. So Amp can easily pick that one off, and Duran will pick up the other one, just trying to feed her some kills. Alright, that's the most annoying pod taken care of right now, and we'll just pop everybody into Overwatch and wait for the next turn. I'll try and get Cecilin up there. I'd like to get him on the roof of that little shed and see if he can pick off anything that's over in the train yard right now. And it might be a little hard to see. It's actually a little hard for me to see on my screen right now, but you can actually kind of see once we feed back in, because sorry, again, like I was just kind of fucking around with the units for a little bit. You can see those little sort of sparks inside of the shed, and I realized, oh wait, there's actually a pod in there. So what I'm trying to do with Hall here is I kind of want to just sort of breach and clear. So I'm trying to see if maybe I can sort of finagle the grenade that it'll actually overlap with the little sparks in there, maybe kill one of them if it's a sectoid or something weak like that, because there is an achievement for killing enemies you can't see but is spotted with the bioelectric field. So we're just going to blow the doors open, and hopefully magically the grenade explosion will phase through the roof, and of course it doesn't work at all. And it exposes a mechtoid and a sectoid commander, who oddly enough don't really activate. I think, even though there was the explosion, I don't think pods activate unless they actually get line of sight on you, and since everybody's behind cover, or in Cecily's case above them, they actually don't have line of sight, so they're just going to kind of chill there. And I'm debating just moving in, trying to punch them, but they're kind of not exactly on the grid squares, so I'm not sure like who's on what right now. And it's just a really weird situation all around, so I decided just fuck it, I'm just going to open fire on the mechtoid. And fuck it up, naturally. Now that does activate the pod, so they will move into position. I believe the commander actually moves onto a grid square. The mechtoid just kind of chills where he was and only takes 4 hit points worth of damage off of the LPR shot, excuse me. So now I have one of my soldiers in clear open view, and absolute crap chance to hit anything with Duran, as she's just not quite up to snuff just yet. The good news is she does not knock that mechtoid down into punching range. He is on Overwatch, but while Cyanox is fully armored up, I'm not too worried about him taking any sort of critical damage. I was considering going in to punch the sectoid, because I'm really not in the mood for anybody to be mind controlled. I don't have a whole lot of gene modded soldiers on this mission to begin with, and none of them have any of the brain upgrades either. But in the end, I decided to go for the mechtoid because they can output like a lot more damage, and I find that the commanders, they generally do prefer to use psychic powers, but they really only like to use mind control, and it's so close it'll just die in one turn anyway. And I'm more pissed off that the mechtoid might like do what he just did again, but to a squishier soldier. So Cyanox Kool-Aid mans him right through the wall, and Amp has a really great shot on that sectoid commander. Now, plasma rifles do up to 8, so they can do double-digit criticals easy enough, and thanks to being out in the open. That'll take care of that. Now, unfortunately, Cecily can't say anything, so Overwatch for him. Hopefully something sneaks on by. Nothing doing, however. I do realize the meld's over there in the train yard proper, so that's probably where I'm going to head now. There isn't too much more up in the northeast from the shed, so anything remaining on this map will definitely be over in the train yard. So Duran moves up, trying to sneak a peek through the boxcar. Unfortunately, she doesn't see anything. Now, we're up on a little bit of a ledge, so that might be contributing to why she doesn't exactly have line of sight. If something's sort of pushed right up against the ledge lower down, then she wouldn't get the line of sight. So we'll move Cyanox up on top of the flatbed car. He doesn't see anything either. He does get a sense of where the meld is, though, and there's 4 turns left, so there shouldn't be any worries in getting it. Now, I was starting to get impatient with this because I was just steamrolling everything, so I just sprint Amp up there, and this is what he finds out. Yeah, with the addition of the mechtoids and Enemy Within, I've realized the game designers love, or at least the game's RNG, just loves throwing them into pretty much every single middle to late game mission. And as scary as they are when they first come by, they're not really much of a threat anymore, so it's kind of a shame they're not throwing more like mutons and whatnot at us right now. Now, I'm hoping this grenade blows up the van instantly and kills and does about 10 or so damage to the mechtoid. Unfortunately, it looks like the grenade isn't powerful enough to just set it right off like a rocket would, so the van's just on fire, but one of the sectoids does die. So I know there's a 3/4 HP mechtoid over there and a full health sectoid, so if I can get Hall up there, she might be able to get eyes on the sectoid and take him out before it throws up an energy shield on the mechtoid. So with run and gun, we'll get her up there. And I can't believe I didn't spot that pod earlier. This is a piss off. And this is where I'm definitely regretting not bringing along Smots for once, as I'm really hurting for rockets, and he's pretty much my only top tier heavy right now. Now, I rolled the dice with Durand, and I'm reasonably certain she somehow managed to hit the floor of that boxcar. I don't even know how. Like, just point your gun straight and you wouldn't have hit it, but, well, whatever. She's French. I'm not even going to bother questioning it. Now, the good news is with 2 assaults, that means double the running gun, so we can get Hill up there. With a lucky couple of critical shots, she would be able to put that Mechtoid down, and thanks to lightning reflexes, she will take no damage from either of the Overwatch shots. Now, if I remember correctly, excuse me, lightning reflexes only works on the first Overwatch shot, so I think she dodged the second one on luck alone. Now, 100% chance to hit with rapid fire is always a very welcome sight. Unfortunately, as she has the lighter plasma rifle, she's not going to do too much damage, and as the regular plasma rifle does up to 8, that might have been a hit of 8 and 8 and killed it instantly, so that's a bit of a shame. Now I could finish that one Mechtoid off instantly with Hall, but I decide I'd rather try and knock down this one as much as I can, just in case I need to grenade it or something. The lower HP, the better, because if I can just hit it, finish it off in one fell swoop with a grenade, that'll be all the better. Now, I was really worried these sectoids would fuck me over by just energy shielding the Mechtoids, but fortunately I decided that it would much rather mind meld with the one over there. And the Mechtoids decided to cluster up and start taking pot shots up at the high ground. Thankfully, due to the high ground, we get dodge advantage, so we shouldn't take any damage this turn. Yep, so far so good. They're 0 for 2. I'm worried about my other assault over there with that Mechtoid. Kind of wishing I put somebody on Overwatch now as they aren't moving around a lot. Thankfully they make it over 3. And this little bastard gets his last attack off, and that actually does connect, unfortunately. Good news is with the Titan armor, she didn't go down into her HP proper, so she shouldn't be wounded at the end of this. And that thing was basically just out of range of the explosion. Now, with a map this size, this is probably the last 2 pods on the map, so if I can kill these 5 aliens, it shouldn't be much of an issue. Right now I'm just looking around to see who has a grenade left, because I'm pretty sure I can take out at least the sectoid and the Mechtoid. I'm not 100% sure if I can go for the triple, and just barely I can get the other Mechtoid's foot, which is enough to count as colliding with this model, so that'll take him out as well. Alright, and with that, 3/5 of the remaining aliens die instantly, so if I can take out the alien that's being buffed by the smaller one, this should end it right here. That easily takes him out, and this is where I promptly remember, oh, no, wait, it only does the double kill if you kill the one that's casting the spell, not the one receiving it. So, one quick jolt with Cyanox, and we can put this one right to bed. Alright, and there we go.
Everything by the numbers.
I want to say that's probably the record for the fastest abduction mission, but I'm pretty sure we had one back in like mission 3 or 4 where I killed like all the pods with one grenade and that was it. Yeah, that's unfortunately one of the downsides of XCOM 1, in my opinion. Right when you hit this sort of tipping point, the missions don't become challenging anymore. It's just a stupid, quick, grindy slog, and you don't even want to do it, but you know you have to because of the panic and getting more Illyrium and alloys and whatnot. And our first kernel level assault, fucking finally. Resilient versus Killer Instinct. Immunity against critical or increased critical chance after running gun. I used running gun all the fucking time, so that clearly seemed like a better choice to me. And again, best defense is a good offense. So that does reduce the Australian panic, although panic went up in South America and didn't look like it really went up in China, so we should be okay for now.
Annette was somehow involved in the attack on XCOM headquarters. Her limited memories of the event.
I don't even know why I'm bothering to let her talk. Like, it's never fucking interesting. Anyway, with that, I'm actually going to cut it off here because, well, that's the end of that mission, and in the next video we're going to see a lot going on, and... What the fuck? Skyder, get back in your goddamn meld tank. Jesus.